Okay, hopefully this video will help you out. Alright, perimeter, remember, is the length of all the edges all the way around. So to find this problem, perimeter, I'm going to combine all these terms starting from the top going clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to add 5x minus 6, combine it with 2x plus 10 plus 4x plus 3x minus 6, combining like terms, only x's and numbers. So when I write it, 5x minus 6 plus the 2x plus 10 plus the 4x plus 3x minus 4. So those are all my sides. All four going clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5x minus 6, 2x plus 10, 4x, 3x. So going left to right, combining like terms. Can't combine these two. These are unlike. But 5x and 2x, combine those together to get 7x. Bring everything else down as is. So 7x, the minus 6 comes down, the plus 10 comes down, the 4x comes down, the 3x comes down, minus 6, everything comes down. Still going left to right. Going to leave 7x minus 6 alone and combine the two plain numbers, 6 minus 10, negative 6 plus 10. Find the difference. Keep the sign of the bigger number. So 6 negatives, 4 with 10 positives. Cancel away and give me positive 4, bringing everything else down. Still going left to right. Cannot combine 7x plus 4, so I'm going to combine the two x terms, 7x and 4x, to get 11x, bringing everything else down, the 4, the 3x, and the minus 6. Combining still left to right. Leave these two alone. Combine the two x terms to get 14 of those x's, bring down plus 4 minus 6, and then last but not least, combine the positive 4 with the minus 6. And that gives me 14x minus 2. That is the perimeter, algebraic perimeter of that shape, combining like terms all the way around. Alright, next problem. For this one, I'm going straight down. Sorry I didn't go across, but that's okay. So this one's having you find the missing term and then the ratio of cats to dogs. So the cat's number first, 2, the dog's number second. The cat's number on top, the dog's number on the bottom. So for this, I'm adding 10 each time. So if I just take that next term, 30, and add 10 to it, I'll get the very next one underneath it. So taking that 30 plus 10, where I could see how much I'm going up by, is 10 each time. 30 plus 10 gives me 40. So that 8th term, or dogs, the ratio would be 8 to 40 cats. Now this ratio, you could use any set of numbers as long as you divide it in the correct order. So cats to dogs means you're going to divide the cat number on top divided by the dog number on the bottom. All of these ratios will give you the same reduced answer. So if I use 10 to 2, 10 cats to 2 dogs, 10 to 2, that reduces to 10 over 2, which is 5 over 1 when you reduce both these numbers and divide by 2, dividing by top and bottom by the same number, gives me 5 over 1, which is reduced. That is the ratio 5 cats for every 1 dog, which is the same ratio of 10 cats for every 2 dogs, which is the same ratio of, and I'll erase this, 20 cats to 4 dogs. All those ratios are the same. 30 cats to 6 dogs, 40 cats to 80 dogs, 50 cats to 9 dogs. All of those ratios are the same. They all reduce down to 5 over 1. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Next problem. This one, another ratio with fractions. So I'm going to have you take 2/3 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of sugar, and the ratio written and spelled out just like it says, flour to sugar. So I'm going to take the flour number compare it to the sugar number. So flour first, 2 division line, sugar number. So flour 2/3, 2 sugar. So that means 2/3 on top, 2 the division line, and 1/2 on the bottom, or the first term always on top of the fraction and the second term always on the bottom. For this, since you're dividing by fractions, you're going to divide which means when you're dividing, you're timesing by the reciprocal. Sorry about that. Alright, my mouse interacts with the sunlight here a little bit, so sorry about that. So back to that problem right there. Dividing a fraction, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to leave that top fraction alone, take that bottom fraction, flip it so that top number comes to the top, bottom number comes down, and I'm going to multiply straight across. That's called dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So multiplying straight across gives me 4/3. And then another couple ways of writing it, 4.3, or a third way, 4/3 So again, they watch out for that third way of writing it. Alright, next problem. For this one, it has you take and graph at least 3. So that means all numbers more than 3. Cannot have any numbers less than 3. At least 3 means all numbers larger than 3. So 3 is okay, but anything number more than 3 is what it's got to be. So writing my number line, the positive numbers on the right, 1, 2, 3. My negative numbers on the left, make sure you know that. At least 3 is going to be a solid number, a solid circle on 3. Don't want to do an open circle. That shows 3 is not included. You want to include 3, so a solid circle. And then a big solid line or a solid arrow representing all the numbers to the right of 3. All numbers larger than 3 on the number line. That is at least 3. So make sure you're okay with that. At most 3 would be numbers to the left of 3, but let's just focus on at least 3. Alright, next problem, triple ratio. And then again, that represents all numbers bigger than or equal to 3. At least 3. Alright, triple ratio. So the numbers 5, 1, 3 in order, dogs, cats, rabbits. I'm giving you that last number, 60. So if I continue to follow this ratio, to find that middle number, I'm going to the left. So I'm going to take that 60 and divide by 3. 60 divided by 3 will give me that middle ratio, trying to whittle it down to the 1. So 60 divided by 3 will give me 20. 60 divided by 3 is 20. So that middle number following this ratio will be 20. Goes right there in the middle. Now, since I'm going from this 1 to the 5 here, I'm going to multiply to 5. So 20 times 5 will give me that number expanded back out to that 1 to 5 ratio. Gives me 20 to 5, gives me 100. So just remember when you're doing these triple ratios. So again, just remember on these triple ratios, that middle number, when you're going from the 1 to the 3, expanding out to 3, you're timesing. But if I give you that end number and you're going back down to 1, you got to divide by 3. So 60 divided by 3 whittles it down to that 3 to 1 ratio. 3 to 1, 60 to 20 is that same ratio of 3 to 1. 60 divided by 20 is the same as 3 divided by 1. If I'm going back out 1 to 5, I'm multiplying to get out to 5. So if I get that middle number 20, 20 times 5 gives me 100. And then of course what I'm showing you here is the fact that you need to total that. So add all of those numbers up. That's what the question's asking. Alright, last one. Has you find the ratio of C's to B's and D's. So C's, that means you're going to find that C number in the table and you're going to divide it by the adding up or the sum of the B numbers and the D numbers. So for this, I'm going to take my C number, C30, I'm going to put that on top. That's compared to, there's the fraction line, the number of B's and D's added up. So 30 divided by that B and D gives me 30 over 25 plus 15. So when I put those numbers in there, that gives me 30 over 40. And if I divide both top and bottom by 10, that will reduce down to its lowest common factor, which is 3 over 4, which again is the same ratio of 30 over 40, 3 over 4. So the ratio of C's to B's and D's added up is a 3 to 4 ratio. Alright, to prove to me that you watched this video and a little bit extra credit, just make sure you mention tomorrow that Manchester United won 4-0 over Everton, and that'll be proof that you watched this video. Alright, good luck.